The Guam Police Department is trying to sort out the truth behind allegations against Captain Mark Charfauros, who allegedly trespassed and solicited another officer to deck a guy in Jontya. While they do that, the department's management has been accused of turning a blind eye to alleged unbecoming conduct that was detailed by former police chief Captain Paul Suba. In the whistleblower complaint, Suba names Captain Charfauros, Officer Mercy Greeno, Officer Eugene Charfauros, and Lieutenant James Santos of engaging in unbecoming conduct, personal relations, and fraud, waste, and abuse of the government resources. Coincidentally, it was Suba during his stint as the top brass of the department who brought Charfauros into the police department. You may recall Charfauros was terminated from the Guam International Airport Authority, where he briefly served as chief of police. The former senator then entered into a controversial settlement that allowed him to be transferred to GPD in the rank of a captain, even though he'd only served as a police officer 1 for several years, decades before. Charfauros was also named in an audit for the time he served as the Guam Baseball Federation's president and allegedly paid himself to be the diamond keeper at Paseo. After bringing Charfauros on board, Suba was later forced to resign by the former administration after police conducted a raid on KUAM. A search warrant was executed on our KUAM studios after we aired a story about Suba allegedly bypassing the hiring rules by allowing an individual on the force who did not pass his polygraph examination. Suba was forced to resign and return to his post as a police captain. He recently revealed in a whistleblower complaint with the Civil Service Commission that Charfauros was the prime suspect in the alleged leaked document that police were looking for during the raid on KUAM. Suba, of course, has made headlines before on numerous occasions, including an infamous late-night fishing trip on a federally funded Harbor Patrol boat. Then there's Officer Burt Carbullido, who alleges he was solicited to go deck a guy with Captain Charfauros. In 2008, Carbullido was arrested for assault after he was caught on a cell phone video involved in a bar fight in Tumon. The case was eventually dismissed after a civil compromise was reached with the victim, but it was against prosecutors' wishes, as they said dismissal of the case would not ensure justice was served. Carbullido now wants some justice of his own, as he claims some in the department, including Captain Charfauros, are acting inappropriately and in violation of department rules and regs. He filed a whistleblower complaint outlining his concerns. Officer Troy Anciano, who arrested Charfauros and allegedly pushed attorney Curtis Vandeveld in the hallway of the Southern Precinct, is the same officer who's named in a civil lawsuit filed by local businessman James Atkins. Anciano and another officer arrested Atkins for taking photos of a car crash with his cell phone. Atkins has alleged the officers violated his civil rights. And finally, there's Lieutenant James Santos. When Captain Suba was the chief of police, Santos filed a whistleblower protection complaint alleging all sorts of alleged cover-ups in the department. Santos was eventually demoted to the rank of police sergeant after a government corruption investigation alleged that he was spending time at an outside job during GPD work hours. He was never charged in court and was eventually given his rank back by his former supervisor and current chief, Fred Berdalio, who said Santos was using flex time when he wasn't at GPD. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Indy Egan.